Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Homeland Security. George Soros has given $30 million plus to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter and the new Black Panthers are attacking law and order nationwide. And now ISIS sees them as possible recruits. Now, if their true motives were legitimate and not just left-wing agitation, they'd be protesting Planned Parenthood, not law enforcement. And a new report shows deportations at a 10-year low as illegals are flooding in from everywhere, and less than half are from Mexico. Did you know that, Maury?
Part of it. I look at what's happening in this country right now as a giant step toward anarchy, and thank God we're having an election come up. And every night I'm not a religious person, but I'm praying that Trump wins.
I'd sleep a lot better, I know that.
Not sleep better. I think your life would be better. And I think the idea of Hillary taking over from Obama, I don't think she's as mean and vicious as Obama in what she would like to do to this country. But Comey, who kind of stayed away from being too critical in the hearings and try to defend himself. I think he's a pretty decent guy, but I think what he found
Even he's been corrupted.
He's been corrupted, but I think the very fact is he said she's careless and incompetent. I don't think that's a compliment.
You know, I don't think the email scandal is really what we should be looking at.
That's right.
I think it's the foundation, the Clinton Foundation. They were taking hundreds of millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia. Frank Giustra was one of their partners. They had a deal down in Haiti right after the earthquake where Hillary's brother took over one of the mining companies. I mean, if you really looked into the Clinton Foundation details, that's where everything is.
They're rotten to the core. There's no question about it, but nobody's called them on it. When I go back to my basic point, if there's no counterpoint to treachery and incompetence and even the desire to bring the country down, it's going to go down.
So now Black Lives Matter is just an offshoot of Occupy Wall Street, of Code Pink, of all these other left-wing agitators that basically are paid agitators. George Soros has put $33 million into this movement, and all it is to cause chaos and anarchy. Now, if the cops are afraid to do their job, who's going to protect the country?
You know, I tip my hat, if I had one, to the police departments of this country. The very fact they're doing the best they can under very, very arduous conditions. And I think it's a deliberate attempt to try to strip the police structure out of this country. This gentleman who was the head of the police department of Milwaukee, I think he's a great...
David Clark.
David Clark is fantastic.
And that right there goes to show you that it has nothing to do with Black lives because he's getting death threats on a daily basis and he is African American. So it has nothing to do with the color of your skin, it has to do with your character. If you're a liberal, that's what matters. Liberal lives matter, not black.
This all started with Baltimore, if you recall. They practically burned it down, and then Ferguson...
I think it even goes back farther than that, Maury. I think it goes back to the Cambridge police when Obama first took office.
Yeah, and he was only in office a couple months when a black professor, climbed into his own house, and he was arrested because the police thought that somebody was breaking into the house, and Obama heard about it and said this is an
They acted stupidly.
They acted stupidly. Then he tried to put a nice touch on it by inviting him for a beer and so on. But you're right, that was the first step. But that's par for the course. That's the way he's handled everything else.
And then the whole lie about hands up, don't shoot, that was a complete fabrication. There was 5 African-American eyewitnesses that said Michael Brown was trying to get the policeman's gun. He was attacking the cop. He wasn't running or putting his hands up and walking away. So this whole movement is illegitimate in my mind.
It has been from the very beginning. And, I must say one thing. There was a chance that if Romney had waged a decent campaign, there might have been a chance that he would have been elected. But he did everything to walk away from his duty as far as being a candidate of the Republican Party. And now the reason that he's attacking Trump is because he's jealous of the fact that Trump is doing something and has a chance of being elected, and he just walked away from it.
Yeah, and he's gotten more Republican votes in the primary than any other Republican in the
exactly.
history of the Republican Party. So the Republicans are pretty two-faced as well, because they've been saying for years, we need to grow this party, we need to expand the tent, we need a bigger tent. This guy brings them a bigger tent, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him.
The Republican Party has been no better than the Democrat Party. They go to Washington, they get part of the Washington scene. If they get voted out of office, they join a lobbying group. I mean, they're set for life. They have big pensions that they voted for themselves. So
Healthcare.
Both parties have been corrupted.
Yeah, one worse than the other, but you're absolutely right. We need to take a short pause. Our political insider and our moment in history are coming up. Again, if you missed any segments, just go to YouTube and search Morris Beschloss. You can follow Maury on Twitter at @mbeschloss. Stick around. We'll be right back.